guys, so this is actually going to be a discussion video. Usually whenever I have a discussion, I kind of like to plan out my thoughts and stuff beforehand, but this is something that I've been thinking about doing for a few months, so I figured I would go ahead and record it for you guys. Today I want to discuss books that we read based on like Booktube recommendations and expanding our palettes. What inspired me to do this video was when I first discovered Booktube, I was like, oh my god, what the world? This is everything. Find Booktube, you obsessively watching all Booktube related videos, and people are talking about books. The books sound good, you want to read the books. You buy the books, you read the books, then after you read the books, you go on Booktube and look at the book reviews that other people did on those books, and then you talk about the books. That's pretty much how the cycle works. But what I found is I haven't read anything lately that hasn't either been super popular or hyped up or that I found on Booktube. I honestly cannot even go to the bookstore anymore and look at a book without having to check like the Goodreads rating or just seeing if it's been reviewed on Booktube or something like that. I kind of want to remedy that just because a part of the reading experience is a lot of the unknown. You don't know what's going to happen in a book when you read it. You don't know these characters beforehand. And all of that is a part of the reading experience. Now, on one hand, I love how Booktube has really allowed me to consider books and read books that I would have never picked up before, like the Throne of Glass series. The first original cover, I hated that cover so much. I was not going to pick that up, but I just heard great things about it, so I gave it a go. And then by the time the beautiful covers re-released, I was already hooked. But at the same time, when I read like the Shatter trilogy, I really enjoyed that trilogy, but I already knew Juliet, Warner, and Adam, and I already knew that everybody loved Warner. So it's like, did that affect my reading experience? And not only did it affect my reading experience, I knew to not take the way that he was in the first book literal, because I already knew, okay, when I get to these other two books, he's going to be different. There's something that happens, because why else would all these people love him? You see what I'm saying? So in a way, it affected that experience. I still thoroughly enjoyed that trilogy, but I kind of wonder what my experience would have been like if I hadn't had so much knowledge about the series before I even started it. So I just want to know what you guys' thoughts or opinions are on that. Do y'all have similar experiences? Because I know a lot of times I don't remember the last time I've gone into a book without knowing much about it. Another example, a problem with that is everything that I'm reading is hyped up. I feel like I have to feel a certain way when I read this. At the beginning of the year, I made it a part of my 2015 bookish goals or bookish resolutions to read more books that necessarily weren't the most popular, or books that I've only heard about once or twice, or you know, a few times. The first time that I actually really implemented that was this month, was in May, when I read Poison Princess by Kresley. I've heard about that book on one person's channel, which is Cassidy Von Shea, who has a large channel, but that's the only person I ever heard talking about that series. And I found the first book in the series to be very unique once the plot and everything is explained. So it really has me thinking about picking up some of the other books that I have on my TBR that I haven't really heard anything else about, kind of like Trial by Fire and a few other books that I'm interested in and haven't purchased yet. So I really want to kind of challenge you guys and challenge myself to read other books besides what necessarily everyone is talking about on Booktube. I feel like it'll allow us to give opinions on books outside of the new releases. It's whatever the new releases, that's what you're reading immediately. And there are other series that have been out for years that are really good, but since they're not fresh and new and current, those books might not necessarily get the same attention. And they don't even have to be classics. It can be a dystopian or a fantasy series that came out in the early 2000s. But it just seems to be like there's a very selective criteria of popular books on Booktube, which is the book is either a new release, the larger main Booktubers are reading or reviewing that book, or the book is by a large or popular book company. I just feel like since this is our bookish hub, that there are thousands and millions of books in the world, and we, you know, can really challenge ourselves to try to find more options. Yeah, that was basically my thoughts that I wanted to share on this discussion. This was all off the top of my head. A lot of times I like to pre-record these and really articulate them better, but I kind of really just wanted to have a conversation with you guys, because sometimes I get tired of hearing about the same books over and over, and then we end up giving each other the same recommendations. So yeah, I just want to really know what your guys' thoughts and opinions on that. Do y'all have some of the same issues? Can you pick up a book with just going off of a good synopsis and nothing else? Because I can't anymore. And I kind of want to get back to a space of just finding hidden gems and good reads and telling you guys about them. Just leave everything in the comment section below. I really want to get the discussion going on this. If you have any thoughts or opinions, then just let me know. And I will talk to you guys in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.